support your teammates. When you're going out to have a good time, you're conscious of when you're coming back around your noise. So you're able to list all the behaviours around what's expected, so that you leave no room, there's no room to guess around whether or not this is okay or not. So what I'm going to do, I'm conscious of time, and I want you guys to ask more questions of me. So what I'm going to do, where's the slide show? I'll start with that one because, like, you know, it's real fun. So I'm not sure if any of you remember this. You know, Prince Harry. You know, he's quite a big deal. Gordon Titchens, and it was huge. And I got rung up. I got to bed. I got rung up from my media person. Rang me like 3 in the morning, going, Trevor, that picture you posted on Facebook, was that real? I said, oh, he's my cousin. You know, of course it's real. And so it caused, you know, and so all the athletes, so to be honest, I didn't realise how popular that was going to be. So, you know, our job is not to take away the limelight, so that was an issue. But I arrive by and large a couple of weeks before everybody gets there, and our job is the setup. And one of the key elements that we have up in terms of setup, which lots of other countries now are doing very similar to us, we were way ahead of where everybody was at, but we build our own lounge, or we create our own team lounge. Now the team lounge gives us license to talk about anything but sport. Right? So when they come into the lounge to have coffee, to sit down, to do whatever, they give us license to not talk about sport, unless they want to talk about sport. Because otherwise, where do they hang out? Where do they get to decompress? Now we have rest and recovery, we have quiet space, we have all these other spaces for them as well. So we create those opportunities, and I'm showing you this is the luxury version. So this is Glasgow, where our space was so big, we took a tent, our own marquee, and other countries are walking past going, oh my God, what's that? That's like our athlete lounge. Oh, how come we haven't got, oh, hard luck. Get yourself a better team. Right, and you can just see here, does anybody know what that is? Oh, they're pallets. Yep. It's the making of a grandstand. Because this is what it ended up being like. So that's the grandstand, so that's where all the pallets were. So we had carpet, we carpeted the whole space, we put pillows, squabs, all that sort of stuff. 2 high TVs facing that way, 1 TV facing back this way, coffee machine, reception desk, these all open up, bean bags outside, you know, it was, you know, it's a great space. Now, in Rio, our space is heaps smaller, so we're challenged with what we've got and what we can create. But athletes don't have any TVs, so there's no TVs in their rooms because Rio run out of money. So they run out of money, so they run out of money, they just take more and more things off us. So they're taking more and more TVs. So there was going to be TVs, but now there's not. So now there's not TVs. The importance of our space, in terms of the fact that we have TVs, creates a real challenge around how we manage the space. So this space enables me, if you guys are athletes, it enables me, in terms of individuals and teams, tricky athletes, it enables me to check in with how they're going, you know, so using some subtleties around trying to pick up on any cues around whether or not they're feeling stressed or pressure. But our job's not to fix it, our job's to catch and pass. We've got sports psychologists, we have different people doing different roles, but our job's not to fix it. Worst thing that I can do is go, well, when I was an athlete, I used to, you know, because that's the last thing they want to hear. They don't want to hear about what I used to do. Right? What they want to know is, you know, where they can get stuff. Where's the access point? What do I need to do for this? Where do I get tickets for that? So if we can smooth it off and make it easy for them, it's much better. Here's another ritual. This is London, 2012. Can anybody guess what team that is? That's a team, bunch of individuals, but it's a team. You should know if they take these shirts off. No, not the sevens. They do take their 7-day shirts off. So we said it. Swimming. So that's them doing a haka back to us. So that's not us welcoming them, that's us, that's them doing it back to us. So I would be a millionaire, not just in case you're checking, I would be a millionaire if I got $1 every time somebody from another country said to me, man, I wish we had that. Because it creates a way in which we can engage in emotion. Haka is all about emotion and about connectivity. So this action, this activity, enables our athletes to get a sense of belonging. And that's its power, that's a tool. And that's a huge tool for us to use. It gets hammered, it has lots of negative press. But when you can see it, and when you feel it, we've already done our welcome, that's them performing back to us. That's magic, right? You can't buy that, right? We often back home, I don't really care about what people say at home, because at the end of the day, it's still it's part of who we are, and it's unique to us. And the key to the use of this tool is understanding why we're doing it. Why is far more important than the how. Why is more important than the how. Right? How becomes important because these are Olympians and they're high performers, so they tend to want to, they're going to do it, they might as well do it the best that they can do it. But this is so this creates a huge opportunity for us around the belief in which you get welcomed and we expect you then to join the next welcome. You then welcome the next one. So we end up with queues of people of shaking hands, and other countries go, well, what are you guys doing? Well, this is how we say hello. This is how we're saying welcome to, this is what we expect of you when you arrive. We expect to welcome you and to acknowledge you as an Olympian, and we expect you to join in and welcome the next one. But it has to be part of your performance environment. Because I don't want you to come down here and bust out a haka. You should be conserving your energy for performance. So you've got to keep it in the context. But my job is, when I come on board, was to bring the haka back to it being more of an internal resource. So you will find in the last Olympics and stuff, there wasn't much coverage about it because it was internal. We did this in the village. We didn't tend to do it externally. We have an induction session. That's the sevens team. So they would have had a haka, a welcome. They've come in, sat down, and then we have 20 minutes. Here's the rules. Here's what we're looking for. This is what the purpose is, and this is what we do. So that's Rob doing his spiel about being proud to be New Zealanders. I tend to follow him. The difficult part of this. We had 370 people. Do you imagine how many inductions we had to do? And I developed a couple of jokes, early on. You know how hard it is to get the people that have heard it 100 times to still get them to laugh? Rob laughs every time. He's got some issues. And everybody starts anticipating the joke, because when there's 5 of us that present, so we've got security, we've got health, we've got athlete support, we've got Rob, and we might have operations. So that's the general, a lot of us will do our bit, present, put the information there, and so trying to engage them in a way, and then having to do the same stuff every time, and you have to pretend it's like the first time you've done it. That's hard. And so that's a really important part of engagement. It's really important part of what we expect from them. So it's around creating that level of respect and the environment and building cultures. Any questions? Make sense? None of it's, this is a bit more of the insight in terms of, Brad mentioned becoming a member of the New Zealand Order of Merit. So this is stuff that I did with my mentor. So if you can think about when I went to the Olympics in Barcelona '92, there was no team culture. You just turned up. I didn't meet half the people in the team, and I lived in the village as a 21-year-old in fear that somebody would find out that they'd made a mistake, and that actually I shouldn't have been there. You know how tough that is, living in an environment where you can't talk to anybody, you're just expected to turn up. Paul McDonald, Ian Ferguson, Mark Todd, all the, they were all seasoned campaigners, and here's a little on me, first Olympics, and you're going. And I got up, we had a team function, we had a cultural group, and they were singing songs that I knew, and one of the leaders of the group was saying, oh geez, there's a little native down the back there, what's he? So I came up, went up, took my jacket off, gave it to some fella, Sir David Beatty, or whatever, here, I hold this jacket, and I did a hook up, it's on YouTube, did a hook with them, and which is great. And then I got not singled out, but I got clearly just shown this is a connection for me. And then I was in my room, remember, I'm living in fear that I'm going to be found out. At any moment, at any point in time, somebody's going to come in and say, Trevor, actually, I don't know how you got in the team, you've gone through the list, and we just, anyway, so I was in my room, and Ralph Roberts was his name, he was the chef de mission. He came to my little room in my apartment, knocked on the door, two people living in each little individual room, knocked on the door, opened the door, and here's the big boss, the chef de mission, standing in my doorway, and I'm just thinking, let's get my beers. He said, what are you doing? I said, no, it's not my fault. And he looked at it, he said, Trevor. He said, Trevor, Robert Muldoon's died. And I'm going, who's he? I was 21, I don't know, he used to be the Prime Minister. So when they said, no, Robert Muldoon's died, we're going to lower the flag to half-mast and we'd like you to come down. I go, okay. So I go down there and I have to stand there and I go like this. And the camera's going, and the athletes are really, really upset. And I'm going, yeah, I'm not sure. Just thinking I'm going to get found out. But so to go from that to this is poles apart. So this here creates the level of connection and the sense of belonging. As part of that process, we do a ritual around, so I told you about the haka and that ritual, but we then do a ritual around a transaction. So by giving something and shaking hands and having a ritual, then that's part of the acceptance of what's required to be part of the team. So I'm going to quickly play this here for you. From my mouse. And this here, no. Go back to the start.
The use of the blue ochre, Pokimoto is one of its names, draws a connection between us and the indigenous population of Scotland. The use of this colour talks about our connection to the earth, but it also has a parallel connection over in Scotland because the Celtic peoples wore the equivalent of blue ochre when they went into battle. So it draws our connection to the idea of where we're from and the pride of wearing your colours when you go into battle. The Southern Cross is used on the game's team mark and it's used on the badge as well. It's a reference that indicates where we are in the Southern Hemisphere. Our ancestors used it when they sailed through the Pacific to come to Aotearoa, and it's one of the most defining symbols of our nation. The kapurua design that's located in the kowhaiwhai panel as well as on the badge references the flora and fauna of these isles. The badge is made from harpium. It comes from the heart of the tree and it symbolises that while you're in Scotland, you are held in the hearts of the nation.
$350 individual pieces were made. So that video gets played and each one is handed to the athlete. So that transaction creates a ritual around belonging to the team and what's required. So that's how you know, for Com Games, that's what we did. So our designer, Rangi Kipper, is a good friend of mine from Taranaki, and again, you can see the blue ochre, so you make the connection. You know, the brave heart. You know, that's wearing the colours of the. You know, so the depth and the meaning and that all signifies that connection. So that's a ritual. And again, we've used rituals within our organisation around our values, around when new staff members start. We have presentation that goes to each team staff member and an outline around this is what's expected when you join, and when you come up and you know, actually physically get it. That's part of the acceptance of those values, particularly when you're just joining something that's like a new organisation. But let me just see, where's my mouse? So that's the gifting. So that's a gifting process. You can see it's a bit of a laugh, but you see here this is another thing that we have. This is called a Mauri stone, gifted to us by Matamu. So that travels with our team wherever we go. It's got more hit points than me. It has paperwork to get out of the country. It's a significant, and again, we use it as a metaphor. So I get up and I say to the team, here's the Mauri stone that's been gifted, here's the story. But the metaphor is, it's a Mauri. Mauri means a life force. So it means that if you give it some energy, it'll give you some energy back, which is a metaphor for you'll get out of the team as much as you put in. So if you don't want to put much in, then that's how much you're going to get out. So it's a really, you know, so again, it's not just a rock that sits in our team lounge. It's actually, the metaphor is, you know, give it some energy and it'll give you some energy back, and that's how it works. So again, having a physical kind of a stone that enables us to tell that story, because if we didn't have it, imagine how hard it is to say, oh, you know, you get it, you'll get out of it what you put in. Actually, you can rub it and you can give it some energy. Do you know what the issue that we've got in Rio to do with it?
Transfer of germs.
Hygiene. So you know where we're going far out, so what does that mean for us? Spray yourself with your hands, or do you spray the rock? You know, those are all the things, all the detail that we think should, you know, we want them to be, you know, security, health is a really important issue. What are the things? So that becomes a challenge for us, because what does that cultural element like that, how does that work? How does it work if we are encouraging us not to shake hands? That's no serious. So you turn up and go,
Just do the hand.
yeah, do that, shake your leg. Yeah. So there's those are sort of some of the things that I have to think about. This is me running a team meeting. You can tell who's in charge. He doesn't even take his glasses off inside. But again, you can see we had a table, we had New Zealand on it, and we painted it black, and athletes signed it, and they said where they were from. Now we didn't think about that before we got there. We just made it up when we got there. We thought, oh, what should we do with this table? It's the colour. Get some blackboard paint. Well, let's paint it. Oh, shit, let's sign it. You know, and it becomes a ritual. The problem is we'll start going, oh, let's do that next time. But actually, you can't keep doing the same stuff. You have to do different stuff. This is what it was like every night. Every night. Watching TV, watching sports, watching channel. Because we've got the Olympic, you know, we've got the feed that watches all sport. So that's night time and then daytime. Again, we created a board around medals. So we just take a photo of their win and the achievement, we laminate the photo, and then again, we used to have a haka, and then it got out of hand because all of a sudden it lost its edge because we were performing it, and it became a chore rather than the spontaneity part of it. And then we're like going, you know, because they were winning medals, we're going, do we do a different one if they don't win gold? Do we do a silver haka where you got one leg? You know, you don't get the full haka because you get the, you know, got silly to kind of And so then we got carried away with trying to think about it. So then we just stripped it back and talked about team celebration and what does achievement look like. And so we just have now, we just put on the board team celebration, and whoever turns up, we have a way in which we introduce them and then get their medals, and we all have photos, and then we, photos, and then we give them their photo and they get to put it on the board as part of the ritual of, because it runs through the team. That's Lauren signing her. And then again, we had pillars outside, so they sign those as well. So again, rituals are really, really important for reinforcing the type of culture and behaviour around what's expected. Right? And a lot of it is about being practical. So here's an example. So I'm not sure if there's a photo of it. Oh yeah, there you go. So you see how it really is stupid. But see, here's this. So we developed these freestanding po that they sign. So again, we made this up on the day because my mate, I wanted him to do a carving, and he said, "No, I've got this aluminium idea that you'll love." And so I was like, "Oh, okay." And then because the aluminium, we could sign it. So we made that too. So then all of a sudden it becomes the norm, when actually it wasn't intended to be the norm, it just became, because that's how we thought about it in the environment. So it's having the ability to think about how you adapt in the environment. Because you could easily go in, I could easily go to Rio knowing that these are all the parts. But you've got to get there and go, now, do these parts still make sense? Are they still relevant? What subtleties, what needs to change? And those are the things that getting there early enables me to think about, okay, how are they going to come in? Where are they going to come in from? We live in high-rise apartments, so when they come down to the lounge, how will they, those are all the making sure that no stone is unturned. Oh yeah, you've got to have some fun. Yeah, those ones too. So that one there, that's about the environment. So that's on the last day. Jack Bauer has won a silver medal. He was the last event on. And again, it's been clear around our expectations around alcohol. But this photo also is just a reminder around making sure that all of this should equal fun. You've got to make sure that you're stopping every now and then and reflecting on where you are. Man, look at me, I'm reflecting on where I'm there. I'm reflecting on the huge opportunity that I have to be in an environment where I'm surrounded by athletes who are in pursuit of excellence. And the best thing that I can do is be honest by trying to match how they prepare by how I prepare. So that's I think that's always the last one. So I have different presentations with different types. So if I just check through, so relationships are really, really important. So if you can imagine for us living in the games environment, we live there. So you can't have a day off. So 6 weeks, and you can say, oh, you take some time off, but where are you going to go? You want to watch some sport? You want sport or some sport? Let's watch some sport. So you're living there. So relationships become really, really important. And it's not till you get really, really tired and you get some fatigue setting in, do you really start being able to just check in on how you're going. And the realization that you need to make sure that you're taking some time out to make sure that you understand who you are and you're able to make sure that you're in the best possible shape. Is there anything else that I haven't touched on? So I've done the building team culture, tricky athletes, boxing background, don't take shit. Alright, so it's pretty simple. Again, it's just around being straight up with most of the athletes. I have to say, athletes that we have now in the games environment compared to when I first started in the role around 2004 is poles apart. The difference between athletes now, an example, athletes now from Glasgow and stuff, we wouldn't have been noticed in 2004, we're just doing our job, we just get on and get it done. Now, after the games, our team would get emails, we'd get Facebook messages of athletes saying thank you for for your contribution. A few years ago they wouldn't have said that. So that tells you just how great the type of athletes that we've got. I mean, they're pretty awesome ambassadors on the world stage for us, by far. You know. Environment, individuals to teams. Individuals to teams, we end up adopting some of them, you know, because you imagine coming in and you're not part of a big team. And so hanging out in the lounge, so we make sure we connect them with other team members and make sure they've got tickets to get the staff and, you know, but because we have a welcome process, it makes it a bit easier to not have to just introduce yourself, you know, because that's quite hard, you know, we are quite a shy bunch mostly. I'm not sure even why track gets on, but so any questions? So that's pretty. So I mean, it's pretty broad and it's pretty elite, you know, from an elite perspective. But the truth is, all of these are just tools. The principle still, you still got to have good communication. You still got to have really, really good relationships. You know, sometimes you've got to have the courageous conversations with athletes and team members. You've got to be able to check in with yourself around how you're tracking yourself. And then having the ability, you know, one of the games we were swimming, you know, they decided to have a blanket policy because they had an athlete that was challenged around alcohol. So they made everybody, they made a blanket rule, the sport did, which is not helpful. So it makes it really hard. But if you're an athlete and you're in this environment and you don't want to be there, and I don't want you either, it's better to just jump or get them on the plane and send them home. Because if you don't want to be there and you don't want to help others, then this is not the place for you if you finish competition. So again, it's ruthless because we don't have time. And sometimes, you know, but by and large, you know, that athlete environment, one day, you know, on any given day, you could be dealing with an athlete who has won gold and they come back to the village and it's magic. It just goes, runs through the team, people take photos, you know, and it's just such a, you know, Glasgow, the boys, where the velodrome wasn't far away, they just bike straight from the velodrome straight back to the lounge, you know, where they really, it's just awesome. It runs through the team and without a word of a lie, 10 minutes later, you could be picking up the pieces with an athlete who hasn't won a medal and they haven't met their performance goal. And so we're sharing the same environment where there's polar from the highest high to the lowest low. So you have those ones here, you've got to give them a hug, give them a bit some love, you know, allow them some time to go and sort it out. But then you can't allow it to go on too long before you have to pull them out of it and get them back connected to what's happening on the team. Awesome. That's, sorry, Brad, you got any questions?
Just one. Yep. You've got such a short time to build a rapport with a lot of these athletes. Is there anything that you do, or is it you just get on and do it and let them come to you? Or?
Yep. The lounge creates the opportunity for them to come and hang out and for us to engage. I choose team members and put them on a training course and blah, 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 to make sure that they're the right fit. Because at games time, we're a service role. We're there, you know, so I've not taken athletes. Some athletes have been turned down on the program and coming in this environment who have won gold medals because they're not suited. You've got to be able to park yourself and know that you're there for everybody else. And not everybody can do that. And so that takes a bit of a challenge.
Do you deal with the coaches and their team management at all?
Yeah, we do a little bit, but operations run our sport support. So they would have developed that relationship over the period leading up to the game. So the managers that's there, you know, they've got a separate area where they can catch up on what they need to catch up around logistics and blah, blah, blah. But our goal is to make sure that everybody has a really awesome games experience. So we do have issues sometimes around, marching. You know, so none of my team, if you're in the athlete support team, you're not allowed to march. We're not there to march. Whereas other coaches and stuff, that's a big opportunity to march. So when you've only got 30 tickets, your team size of 170 administrators, how do you choose 30? You know, so there are those types of issues. We try not to deal with those. Our priority is making sure the athletes are number one. Awesome. Thank you.
Just in concluding and wrapping up the session, I'm sure you've taken some insights from Trevor's presentation this afternoon. I suppose going back to the original discussion at the start was about taking away information around challenges, so challenging our way of thinking, but of course out of challenges come opportunities, and sometimes we're trying to create a team environment to deal with those, and when it happens right, you've got a reward at the end of it. So we're fortunate here in the Manawatu that we've got a boss that's that's hopefully going to get us some prizes or some presents. So before you leave the door, could you just put $5 in the bin? But no, if we can show appreciation.